The global ag community will be in Tulare County for the World Ag Expo, and we have a preview. A driver loses control and slams into a Bakersfield house, and it's easy to play Cupid during Valentine's Day while helping a great cause. This is 17 News at Noon. Good afternoon, I'm Alex Fisher. More than 100,000 people from around the globe are making their way to Tulare for the World Ag Expo. It opens tomorrow, but 17's Taylor Schaub is joining us live this afternoon with a preview as the final preparations are underway. Taylor?
Alex, I'm about 35 feet in the air right now, and I'm going to slowly creep out of the shot. And I mean slowly because this thing isn't that balanced. As you guys can take a wide look at the setup here for the World Ag Expo, 100,000 people plus will descend on this expo in the coming 3 days. And joining me right now is Jim Parsley. He's the chairman for the 2020 event. And looking back at this preparation behind you, what does it mean to you?
You know, this is actually a fun day for everyone here. The day before the show, everybody is out there. They're trying to clean up every big kind of piece of equipment they brought, shining everything. You'll see engines out here that you could eat off of today. Everybody is putting a lot of wash and polish into everything that they see, trying to make this just an incredible show to look at and to see with pieces of equipment that are just absolutely gorgeous. So, all right, a fun day.
Many folks from Kern County and around the Central Valley have been coming here for years, but
Yes.
What can they expect in this 53rd year that's a little different?
Well, probably the biggest thing, we have just a real diverse kind of crop atmosphere in California. So right off the bat, there's a bunch of crops that normally you wouldn't see anywhere else. And here we bring implements here that help in either farming in some way, harvesting in some way, tending to those crops, the technology for those crops that you wouldn't see somewhere else.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. And if you guys want to check it out, it all starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. So come on out. Send it back to you in the studio, Alex.
All right, yeah, I know a lot of people head out there every year, so it should be a lot of fun. Again, gates open tomorrow. Thanks so much, Taylor. All right, let's take a look at your forecast now with Kevin Charette.
Alex, it was a nice morning, a little cool, but this afternoon you can see these temperatures will rise into the lower 60s. And again, that is normal for this time of year. If you remember on Saturday, we had 71 degrees, and then we saw that pretty good cool down yesterday when we were only in the upper 50s. But today we'll be in the lower 60s in the valley. For the mountains, we're looking nice this afternoon. It will be a little bit on the windy side, so those winds continue, but it'll be under clear skies. And you can see by 3 o'clock we'll be right near 53, but then sliding back into those chilly 30s right around 7 this evening. What's the rest of the work week looking like? I'll have more details on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Police say a gunman is still on the loose after he shot a man in South Bakersfield. It all happened around 6:30 last night at an apartment complex near the corner of Teal Street and Hughes Lane. First responders found the victim, who they say was taken to the hospital in serious condition, but is stable.
No one's in custody. We're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation, and it's rapidly unfolding currently.
Police have not released any information about the shooter. It is unclear what led up to that shooting. If you have any information, you're asked to call police at 327-7111. Reckless driving ends in an arrest for 3 people. It all happened yesterday on Cottonwood Road and East Bell Terrace. BPD says officers tried to stop a gray Lexus that was driving recklessly. The driver, 21-year-old Kevin Salazar, fled the car after a short pursuit with officers. There were 2 passengers inside the car, 19-year-old Sean Feria and a 16-year-old. All 3 were arrested on gang-related charges. And another driver is accused of reckless driving after crashing into a home yesterday. Take a look at this. You can see the car completely mangled up against the side of the house. This was in northwest Bakersfield on Callaway Drive. The CHP says the driver was behaving recklessly at the time of the crash. They also added the driver has a history of reckless driving. No one was home when the car crashed into the house. The driver had minor injuries. Several guns are off the streets after police say they found that they were stolen. Here's a look at the guns BPD found during a search at a home on Easter Street yesterday. Officers say ammunition for the guns was also found at the home. The guns recovered included a short-barreled shotgun. It was reported stolen. Another shotgun, 2 pistols, and an AK-style rifle were also recovered. Anthony Reed was arrested and booked into jail. In your 17 Core Watch, the murder trial for a local war veteran accused of killing his parents is coming to a close. This afternoon, closing arguments in the case of Derek Connell started. Connell is charged in the grisly murder of his mother and stepfather, Kim and Christopher Higginbotham, back in 2016. The prosecution argues Connell killed both his mom and stepdad after coming home from a night of heavy drinking. The defense says Connell killed his stepfather after finding Higginbotham killed Connell's mother. If Connell is found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, he faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. And happening tomorrow, the man accused of posing as a rideshare driver and trying to assault women is expected in court. Last week, you may remember police say Nassif Raghib was caught on surveillance camera looking through windows of a house around Brimhall and Jewetta in northwest Bakersfield. Investigators say he previously posed as an Uber or Lyft driver in an effort to get women into his car. On at least one instance, police say Raghib tried to forcibly kiss a woman after driving her to her home. Raghib was previously listed as a suspect in related offenses that were reported to BPD and KCSO in 2018 and last year. And just a reminder, this is a good reminder to stay safe while using a ride-sharing app. Both Uber and Lyft recommend you do several things to keep safe. Here are a few of those tips. Make sure you check your ride. This includes checking the license plate and number and make and model of the car. And you should also have the driver confirm your name. The ride-sharing companies also recommend to sit in the back seat if possible. And finally, follow your intuition. If you feel like something isn't right, either in the ride or call 911. It is the last day before the first in the nation primary, and candidates are hitting the ground hard in New Hampshire, hoping to sway undecided voters. NBC's Alice Barr is in Manchester with the latest on a race that's heating up.
Hi there.
In the final hours before the first in the nation primary, a shifting picture in New Hampshire. A new poll from the Boston Globe shows Bernie Sanders pulling ahead of Pete Buttigieg in second place and Amy Klobuchar surging into third after a strong debate performance.
After that debate, something switched, and we'd done a lot of hard work to get there, but it just allowed the people of New Hampshire to see me in a different way.
Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren close behind in a make-or-break contest.
Do you think Donald Trump cares about this at all? The middle class is getting clobbered.
Dream big, fight hard, and win.
While some push to make up ground, frontrunners are aiming to build momentum with a clean win after the contentious results from the Iowa caucus. Just last night, the Iowa Democratic Party officially gave Buttigieg the highest delegate count, but Sanders plans to contest a few precincts.
This is, I think, what winning feels like.
We have an unprecedented grassroots movement, which is what you need to defeat Trump.
Candidates crisscrossing the state today to sway undecided voters in an up-close and personal contest. This mother and son taking it all in as political tourists.
You bump into, as you know, up here, candidates on the street or in diners like this one. So it's I don't think there's any place else in the country where you can get as close to the candidates.
And with the candidates running close together, both in polls and proximity, anything can happen when voting begins tomorrow. Alice Barr, NBC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Valentine's Day is Friday, and we have a sweet treat for your sweetheart. Our annual Cupid's Challenge kicks off Wednesday at the downtown doors on California Avenue and I Street. It is a one-stop shop to grab your Valentine's Day gifts and help out a worthy nonprofit at the same time. Now, you're taking a look at video from last year's fundraiser where community members helped raise more than $18,000. Buy a box of Dewar's Choose for your sweetheart, and the proceeds will benefit the Mindaburu Magic Foundation, a Kern County nonprofit dedicated to helping families with ill children. Each box is $20. Online sales are open right now, and they'll stay open until February 29th. The event runs from 5 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and we will be out there broadcasting live throughout the day from the downtown Dewar's location. Well, still to come, protecting women after a miscarriage, how some companies are offering time off after a pregnancy loss, and why some say more needs to be done. Welcome back. It is estimated up to a quarter of known pregnancies end in miscarriage, and we're looking at how employers are responding. Some companies now offer paid time off after a pregnancy loss, but it's still not the norm. NBC's Kate Snow reports.
When their daughter was 3, Angelica and Caleb Gunn were thrilled to discover they were pregnant again.
I told work, I told friends. We did a photo shoot with our daughter, and she had a cool little shirt on that says, "I've got a secret," and then the back says, "She's going to be a big sister."
But about 12 weeks in, on Mother's Day 2015, Angelica had a miscarriage. At the time, she had a job working the front desk at a clinic. She says her employer sent flowers, but when she called to ask for a week of recovery, she was told company policy did not provide paid time off after a pregnancy loss.
They were like, "You can take a week off unpaid, and then after that you need to come back to work." So,
could you afford to take a week unpaid?
No, I couldn't, but I did.
She did the same thing after 2 more miscarriages, taking less time than she wanted and struggling to keep her spirits up.
Because it's like if someone loses a family member, you don't expect them to come back to work and be happy, jolly. When you have a miscarriage, it's like, you can have more kids, or, it's, you'll get over it. It's fine.
No worker should have to choose between recovering from a miscarriage and, earning a paycheck. But that is the reality for millions of workers in America today.
Dina Bast founded a better balance to advocate for family leave policies. There's no federal law providing paid leave after a miscarriage.
The good news is that there's growing momentum on the state and local level for paid leave.
And companies are responding too.
It's been my experience as an HR professional over the last decade that there is far more heart in companies than there are in handbooks.
At Reddit in Silicon Valley, employees are now entitled to up to 8.5 weeks of paid time off after a miscarriage. Caitlin Holloway developed the policy out of her own experience, a miscarriage while working late one night.
My heart sank. Sorry. Luckily, the janitor was there, and she came to help. She called my husband.
She says her boss at the time was incredibly supportive. Now she gets calls from other companies wanting to replicate Reddit's policy.
Would it have made you a better worker in the long run if you'd gotten more time off?
I think so, yeah, because I could have, grieved in a different way. I didn't have to force myself into something that I wasn't ready for.
You were grieving at work?
Yeah, really.
Angelica is now training to become a registered nurse to help other women through miscarriage.
I feel like if I'm in that healthcare field, I can use my pain for purpose. I can help others as they're grieving.
Maybe help them navigate the workplace?
That's correct, yes.
That was Kate Snow reporting. All right, let's take a look at your forecast now with Kev.
Alex, starting out with our almanac for today, and overnight we're at 38 degrees, just slightly below the normal of 42. Our normal high, 62 degrees, so we'll be really close to that today. And the record on this date, 79, and that was set back in 1961. And tonight, if you're going to be out and about, your sunset will be at 5:33. Here's a look at the regional view, and again, it's been quiet and nothing really to show you for today. We've been tracking an area of low pressure to the south. That is going to move south and east as we go throughout the day. And we've got some ridging in place just off the coast of Northern California, Oregon. So not a lot happening up that direction for today. They're getting a break from any type of weather. And then the low that I was just talking about, you can see the circulation there. It will move itself right along the Baja Peninsula and then moving east into southern parts of Arizona and eventually into New Mexico. And you can see on our Futurecast model here how it all kind of spins and moves south and east. And this model goes through Tuesday at 1 a.m. Nothing for us into Kern County, nothing into Los Angeles. So just nice weather as we go throughout the next 7. As we take a look at Morro Bay, I know the kids have today off, so if you're thinking of maybe a late afternoon trip, well, 67 degrees in Morro Bay today under sunny skies, a light wind. You couldn't ask for a better beach day. Take a look at the national temperatures for today. We've been tracking some storms east into parts of New Orleans and into the Carolinas this afternoon. You can see that fine line of temperatures, only 40 in St. Louis today, 34 in Chicago, and then on the southeastern side of that line, we get the warmer temperatures. 72 in San Antonio, 76 in New Orleans today, and Jacksonville should see a high right near 79. Here's a look at our air quality with the sunny skies. We had good air and an AQI at 46, and we'll call for a sunny day, a light wind. 61 in Bakersfield, Delano, McFarland, 59 in Taft, and 58 in Maricopa. Tonight you'll be back in the 30s and 40s. For the mountains, sunny skies and breezy. Winds out of the north 25 to 30, gusting to 60. 52 in Fraser Park, 54 in Tehachapi, and 60s into the Kern River Valley. Lake Isabella 62, 61 in Kernville. For the desert today, we'll look for a northeast wind 20 to 30, gusting to 60, and a high of 60 in Mojave. Ridgecrest at 64. Here's your extended forecast, and you can see across the board lots of sunshine. We will warm it Wednesday, Thursday to 70, but then right back down Friday, Saturday, Sunday to the lower 60s, overnight into the 40s. And then for the mountains, plenty of sunshine, a little windy through tomorrow. Temperatures rebound near 60 Wednesday, Thursday, and then a little cooler Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. By Sunday, a few clouds as well. And then for the Kern River Valley, a little bit windy through tomorrow, but then the winds calm, and Wednesday, Thursday, mid-60s, and then cooling you down about 6 degrees as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a few clouds for the weekend as well. That's a look at your weather. We'll send it back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Well, still to come, crossing the pond in record-breaking time. How fast it took a commercial plane to fly from New York to London, and how it was possible to get there so fast.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back and taking a live look at Wall Street. The Dow Jones right now is up 128 points. NASDAQ is up 89 and the S&P 500 is up 19. Let's check oil prices. West Texas Intermediate is at $49.61 a barrel, and Midway Sunset is at $52.07 a barrel. British Airways now has bragging rights for the fastest subsonic flight between New York and London. The Boeing 747 carrier reached a top speed of more than 800 miles per hour. The flight in question was from Saturday into Sunday and got to its destination in just under 5 hours. Incredible. According to Flight Radar 24, the average time for a trip from New York to London is about 6 hours, 13 minutes. Heavy winds from a winter storm helped the plane go even faster than it typically should. And speaking of that storm, take a look at this. A British Airways plane aborted a landing at London Heathrow yesterday. This after hurricane-force winds prevented pilots from making a safe touchdown. The plane briefly touched the runway before, right here, take a look at this. It's going to go right back up. And if you just wait, there it goes. There it goes, right there. You can see it just takes off again a second time. It did one more roundabout around the airport before making a second attempt to hit the runway safely. A daddy doll for four children whose families can't always be together. So when a little girl lost hers while traveling, it was devastating for her. Then Delta Airlines helped the child and her doll reunite. Amanda Aguilar has this story from Georgia.
This daddy doll belongs to Kenley Britton. It was given to her after her dad was deployed. Not only does it have his picture on it, but it has a recording of his voice.
In the middle of the night when she wakes up, she'll play it, and it kind of helps calm her down and get her back to sleep.
The doll got lost as Kenley and her mom Ariel were traveling from Connecticut to Florida, and it got lost on one of the planes. Her mom posted on Facebook asking for help locating the doll.
Who's that?
Valerie Zamora and Sheila Jones are both redcoats with Delta Airlines. They say Delta made it their mission to track down the doll.
Once we had heard that, the Delta people across the system rallied together to locate this doll, and because it was so special, we didn't feel like mailing it was the right thing to do.
Crews ended up finding the doll in Atlanta.
We were just thankful and blessed to see how everybody came together, especially on this day and age. Social media can be used for such terrible things, and everybody used it for good.
The Redcoats say they know this week's effort will be remembered long after Kenley grows up.
It will mean a lot to her, this doll, and even if she felt a little bit overwhelmed at the moment, having that, through the years will mean so much to her.
And then she'll be able to sleep tonight. That was her pillow. So.
Well, still to come, it was a night highlighting the best in Hollywood, including the musicians. A look at the music that won big last night. Welcome back. A legendary songwriting duo and a history-making composer took home awards in the Oscars music categories this year. Rick Damigella has more.
Prior to their win at the 2020 Golden Globe Awards, the writing duo of Elton John and Bernie Taupin had never won a major award together. Individually, both songwriters have their share of honors, and they've won numerous Critics Awards this year. But at the 92nd Academy Awards, Elton John and Bernie Taupin picked up their biggest win yet, as Rocketman's I'm Gonna Love Me Again won the Oscar for Best Original Song.
Wow, this doesn't suck. Thank you to Bernie, who's been the constant thing in my life. When I was screwed up, when I was normal, he's always been there for me.
Icelandic musician Hildur Gudnadóttir completed an epic award season with her first Academy Award nomination and win. She previously won an Emmy and Grammy for her score for HBO's Chernobyl, followed by a BAFTA and Golden Globe for her score for Joker. She is just the fifth woman in Academy Awards history to receive a nomination in the original score category. Her Oscar win for Joker marks the first time a woman has won the category since Anne Dudley in 1998 for The Full Monty. She had this advice for aspiring female composers.
To the girls, to the women, to the mothers, to the daughters who hear the music bubbling within, please speak up. We need to hear your voices.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, when we come back here at noon, he's a fat cat and he's on a diet. We'll introduce you to this big guy after the break and tell you why he's looking for a new home. Welcome back. A fat cat is looking for a forever home. Meet Wilford. He is slowly getting the hang of going down the stairs, but when it comes to his weight, you could say he's facing an uphill battle. Jen Boger and her husband Ian are Wilford's foster parents. When they got him in December, he weighed a whopping 28 pounds. Ideally, he needs to be about half that weight, so the Bogers have put him on a strict diet and exercise plan. So far, he's lost about a pound, and he seems to have a little bit more mobility. The Bogers say they're hoping to find him a permanent home with owners who can help assist him.
Despite the fact that he's being a little bit grumpy right now, he is a very friendly cat. He's very sweet.
Wilford does still get treats from time to time, but it is a diet brand that is low in calories. 28 pounds, ooh, that's a big cat. All right, thanks so much for joining us here at noon. We'll see you back here tonight at 5.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.